A tale is told of a man whose wealth was the talk of the town, a man who built his empire not just with bricks and mortar, but with the trust he placed in others. In the bustling heart of a modern African city lived a wealthy businessman, renowned for his sharp mind and generous spirit. He had built a vast network of enterprises, and along the way, he had supported many aspiring entrepreneurs. Among them were three of his closest partners: Bola, a savvy trader from the vibrant markets of the West; Ahmed, a shrewd investor from the industrious North; and Ease, a charismatic innovator from the commercial hub of the East. Each had received a substantial loan from the businessman to fuel their respective ventures, a testament to the faith he had in their potential. Life, however, has its own unforgiving rhythm. One day, a sudden and severe illness struck the businessman, confining him to his bed. The best doctors were summoned, and no expense was spared, but his health continued to decline rapidly. As the shadow of his mortality loomed large, it became clear to all that he would not survive. In his final, lucid moments, he called his devoted wife to his side. With a weak but firm voice, he spoke of his outstanding affairs, specifically the significant sums he had loaned to Bola, Ahmed, and Ease. He then revealed his dying wish, a request so peculiar it made his wife's heart ache with confusion. He instructed her that upon his death, his debtors must not repay the money to her or his estate. Instead, his final wish was that each man must personally place the exact amount he owed, in cash, directly into his casket during the public burial rites. He believed this was the only way to settle his accounts before his final journey. His wife, though bewildered and grieving, promised to honor his last command. Soon after, the businessman passed away. His family, though steeped in sorrow, began the elaborate preparations for his burial. The news of his death and his unusual final wish spread like wildfire through the city. Friends, family, and business associates were shocked. Many whispered among themselves, questioning the sanity of such a request. "What a waste of resources," some lamented. "To bury good money with the dead when the living are in need? It is madness," others declared. The family members, despite their private reservations and the public outcry, felt bound by duty to fulfill the patriarch's last directive. The day of the burial arrived, a somber and grand affair attended by a massive crowd. The air was thick with grief and a palpable sense of curiosity. As the ceremony progressed, the moment of truth came. The casket lay open, a silent testament to a life well lived. Ahmed, his face a mask of solemn respect, was the first to approach. He carried a heavy briefcase, and with a steady hand, he opened it to reveal stacks of crisp banknotes. Without hesitation, he placed the full sum he had borrowed into the casket, right beside his deceased mentor, fulfilling his obligation as directed. A murmur went through the crowd, a mix of awe and disbelief. Next, it was Bola's turn. Known for his flamboyant style, he approached with a quiet dignity that surprised many. He too carried a bag filled with cash. He bowed his head in respect, whispered a few final words of gratitude, and carefully deposited his loan repayment in full into the casket. The mourners watched in stunned silence, the sheer volume of money now resting with the dead man becoming a spectacle in itself. Finally, all eyes turned to Ease. He walked towards the casket with a confident stride, but unlike the others, he carried no bulky bag or briefcase. A wave of whispers and judgmental glances followed him. Had he come to defy the dying wish of his benefactor? Had he squandered the loan and come empty-handed to a man who had shown him such faith? Ease, seemingly unfazed by the scrutiny, reached into the inner pocket of his finely tailored suit. He produced not cash, but a small, folded piece of paper. He calmly unfolded a cheque, which he had meticulously written out for the full amount he owed, made payable directly to the late businessman. He placed the cheque gently into the casket, leaned over, and said in a clear voice for those nearby to hear, "My friend, go and cash this in the land of the dead." He then straightened up, bowed his head, and rejoined the crowd, leaving a trail of utter astonishment in his wake. Who among these men is the wisest?